Today, let's get on with the market stats for the first 3 days of February. Well, we have 119 days of inventory. We are trending down. I think Jimmy told us yesterday in class 14 straight weeks of the single family home inventory going down. We're down to 5173, 5,173 single family available homes. We closed 78 yesterday and we listed 160. Yes, we listed 160. So some of those numbers don't jive because a lot of people probably didn't relist their homes. They just thought they would wait and see, or perhaps they just expired because the market has been slow. Last February, we were doing 55 sales per day. I mean, this February, we're only doing 55 sales per day. Last year, we were doing 119 sales per day the first 3 days of the February, and that's a big difference. That's more. We're doing less than half of what we were doing last year. Let's put it like that. Anyway, we have 119 days of inventory, so that's a good thing because buyers don't have to be so frantic about multiple offers and all those things. Although I heard some rumblings that there are some multiple offers occurring. Yeah, those homes that are priced right, whatever for that the right location and all those things that go into the buyers picking the right home or you picking the right home for the buyers is happening. And we have 1,804 single family active homes that are $430,000 or under. So that's something to think about, right? That's 35% of the market. And single family homes just listed were 55 of the 160 that we listed. So anyway, the that market is bringing new properties every day. So I think I told this in class. I think this is going to be a really good year. I think it's going to be a really good year. The $1 million homes have gone a little higher than 2020. We're down to 2.4 per day. I think that number's probably going to inch up again. I would suggest maybe it'll get to 3 per day, 3 million plus dollar homes per day. We'll see. We'll see. Just my opinions based on the rumblings I hear, what I see out there, and um, the interest rates. We're going to get into interest rates today a little bit. What else? Nothing else really going on. The investors are still buying. The non-owner occupieds are still buying 18 homes per day. And I was showing somebody yesterday how how you can perhaps go after that market. In your MLS, you can go under stats, you can hit tax, you can do non-owners, and you can see who's buying homes, maybe second homes, maybe investments, and maybe go after them because they might want to buy more homes. Anyway, just a suggestion. Lots of things, lots of ways to attack this market, and it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Anyway, some of the things that have gone on that we want to talk about today. Let's see. First, mortgage rates. Yeah, let's talk about mortgage rates for a minute. Mortgage rates fell to the lowest since September of 2022. And this is according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. They said even average rates fell last week. In fact, rates were down from the week before across all the loan categories. And they're saying that the rates are now at their lowest level since September and about a percentage point below the peak mortgage rates last fall. As we enter the beginning of the spring buying season, lower mortgage rates and more homes on the market will help affordability for first-time homebuyers. And we got a referral from someone who wanted to buy their first home. And it's quite the experience. I haven't done that for a long time. As you know, I don't really do real estate per se, like y'all pounding the pavement out there. But I did take on this particular client because he is a friend. And all of a sudden, he wanted to get out of that apartment that he had been paying rent for 10 years and now wants to jump into home ownership. So it was quite the experience. And, it's amazing how important our knowledge is when we reach out and we help those first-time home buyers. And I just tell them everything I can think of. And the RPA is a great thing to use as your guideline. because those are the things that are going to help them with the journey. He's took him out the first day, found a home he loved, had some challenges, no credit. He said he said his credit is fine. Well, his credit is fine. He has none, right? He never had a credit card in his life. How wonderful is that, right? And so the mortgage company that was picked didn't do people that didn't have credit. So we found someone that did, and it was a wonderful experience because this particular mortgage person explained so thoroughly the whole process of the mortgage and what putting this much down means versus buying the points down, all the things. He was just excellent. So anyway, it's so important that you pick the right mortgage person, and that going in, if your if your buyer says he's got fine credit, yeah, well, you better make sure if he has any credit, because any credit sometimes is not as good as you think. But there are people out there that will do it. That's the good news, and I'm actually going to have this particular lender on my show next week because he is just a wealth of information. So anyway, the Mortgage Bankers Association says that lower rates are spurring demand for mortgage applications, with overall demand up 30% and demand for home purchase loans up 25% week over week. Well, that's good for us to hear, correct? And then we have some other people that voiced in on the market. Let's see, those were the rates. Let's put that down here. Okay. This is something that just came out today. Now we're talking about, the numbers, the employment numbers. So this morning, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on the employment conditions in January, and it says the pace of job growth has been trending down over the past 6 months, but January broke the trend. Recent data on the unemployment insurance claims have indicated a stronger job market than the string of layoff announcements from the technology and the financial sectors would suggest. Job growth of over 500,000 in January and a drop in the unemployment rate to 3.4% puts an exclamation point on the divergence between measures of economy and job market statistics. Now, here's what we need. This is good news for Las Vegas. Much of the job growth is concentrated in sectors like leisure and hospitality, yay, that's us, which have struggled to fill job openings for much of the past year, as we know. The decline in wage growth to 4.4% may be reflecting some of this shift to sectors that typically are lower wage. However, slower wage growth in the service sector is the trend that the feds have been seeking, despite the persistent strength in the job market. Not sure why. That befuddles me. But we do know, as I showed you, that wages in Vegas have gone up and up and up, continue to rise. And so again, Las Vegas is not your typical market. And when people read things like this that are for the United States from coast to coast, we are different. So beyond the surprising hiring jump in January, employment numbers were revised up from 2022 by about 500,000 and were marked up for the last 2 months as well. And as strong as we thought the job market was, it was even stronger. So here's something I highlighted. Let's see what I was doing here. Oops, that's not going to work. With the job market this tight, the Federal Reserve will remain even more focused on this type of data. We expect another quarter-point increase in the federal funds target in March. So that's the main point there. The interest rates may go up another quarter point in March. So, I don't know. I thought about this. I don't know that I would want to push a buyer to buy now and lock in a rate. I was never, I don't know. I don't like to do that in case it doesn't happen, and then I look like I was just pushing them to get on to buy now. I would rather people buy now because of the pricing, because we have held steady at 430 now since 430,000 median price since December. It has been going down and hit that kind of, I think it's kind of almost like a plateau. And some people say it's 425. Depends if you do Clark County, depends if you do Nevada, depends if you do the zip codes that I do. And the zip codes I do say 430,000 is the median price. That doesn't include Pahrump, Boulder City, and or Mesquite. So, yeah, so a quarter point, I think that's good. I think it's good from the standpoint that it's not a half a point, and that the job growth is influencing that the decision for the feds. And then we have, let's see, what else did we have here? Well, this is just something for you to realize that, you know, the pandemic was not the cause of that boom we had. It was not COVID. And 56% of the surveyed people said that the pandemic neither accelerated or put off their purchase timeline. Just, something to be aware of. And that's really good because that means we don't have to have another COVID to have another housing boom, right? So anyway, that's all good. Now, something else here, going back, let's get off of that market and go back to our industry. Recently, the MLS and the board of directors approved a new policy which has been added to the MLS rules and regulations. And we brought this up in class yesterday. This new policy does not allow members to copy other agents' remarks that appear in the MLS. Keeping in mind another agent's remarks could be protected by the copyright law. Well, I have a solution for that today. I was going to do this the other day, and I thought, well, I'll hold on for a few days because I knew this was coming. And, remarks, I know we take a long time when we do the remarks for our rentals because we're appealing to a renter. And so when it appears on Zillow, you have to kind of change, your frame of reference a little bit than when you have a home. And then when you're doing the remarks for a home, I always tell people, have the pictures, make sure that the order of your pictures is in line with your remarks, because when you're on Zillow, here's the pictures, here's the remarks. And so you want them to be reading and looking so that they can connect the dots and therefore understand that, hey, this is a pretty nice home. I didn't realize that in this kitchen that this brand new stove has an air fryer in it. So, so those things are very important for the experience of the person looking at your data. And it could be potential sellers that like the way that you do that. It could be buyers, first-time home buyers, renters, whatever it is. It's a good idea to do it. Now, with this new thing, let's say that you just absolutely love the way that this particular agent does their remarks. Okay, what do? Well, everybody knows now that we have ChatGPT, correct? Well, what is all the buzz about? I have found someone, let's see, who tells a pretty good story about what's going on with GPT when it comes to real estate. So let me get my slides here. I have some slides that go along with what he says, because this was a tough video I kind of cut it up so that we could see it as he talks. Okay, so let's roll. Let's just roll with this. I'm going to mute myself. If you want to learn about 5 ways that you can use the Chat GPT in your real estate life, here are 5 ways. And this fella is a real estate agent in the Midwest, and so he is and a very good one. So we're going to learn from somebody who's actually in the business and also in social media and using Chat GPT, which you can use for those comments that you like and you want to rework them, wordsmith them with this wonderful artificial intelligence app. So here we go.
So you've likely heard of ChatGPT. It is the fastest tool ever in history to grow to 1 million users, faster than Facebook, faster than Twitter, and they grew extremely fast. But do you know how to use it effectively for your real estate business? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 exact use cases of how you as a real estate agent can actually use this tool in a tangible way for your real estate business moving into 2023. So stay tuned. You're going to go to chat.openai.com. That's going to allow you to sign up for ChatGPT and start using this tool. At the moment of this video, it's completely free, but they did say they're losing $3 million a day right now, so that is not going to stay that way forever, so make sure you take advantage of this tool now. There's a few ways that I'm going to show you in which you can actually use this tool in a really smart way for your real estate business. The first one is actually to create property descriptions for your listings. I'm going to go in here and I have some pre-written stuff that I'm going to plug in to just show you the power of this tool. This is what I would say. And you want to be creative when you tell the AI tool what you want, because you can tell it to do a lot of things that I'm going to show you in this video. So the first thing is generate a 100-word property description for a 2-bed, 2-bath character home built in 1972 in Bonnie Lake, Washington, and just watch what it comes up with. Welcome to this charming character home located in the desirable Bonnie Lake neighborhood. Built in 1972, this 2-bed, 2-bath home boasts a classic and timeless design. The exterior features a beautiful brick facade, while the interior boasts hardwood floors and a cozy fireplace. The kitchen has been updated with modern appliances and offers plenty of counter space for a home chef. Both bedrooms are spacious and offer ample storage space. The backyard is perfect for entertaining and features a large patio and mature trees. This home is a must-see for anyone looking for a place in Bonnie Lake's history. You obviously want to go ahead and customize that to the actual features of the place. We don't know if it has a brick facade, but it's giving you an example of how to highlight these things in a really well-written way. Highly recommend using this for your property descriptions. Note that this is like version 1 of the public tool, so just imagine what this tool will be able to do on version 10. So make sure you use this to give a really professionally written property description and then customize it obviously according to the actual listing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to write your social media content. Now this is going to be a really popular one for you guys, and you can use this in a lot of cool ways. Write me a 200-word Facebook post on how a pre-inspection can get you more for your house in a humorous tone. Now you can always tell ChatGPT when you're writing content to actually write in a specific tone, in a serious tone, in an informative tone, in a humorous tone, in a funny, whatever you want to do. So let's see what it comes up with. Hey friends, so you're thinking of selling your house and want to maximize your profits, right? Well, listen up, because I got a little secret for you. Get a pre-inspection. I know. It might seem like an unnecessary expense at first, but trust me, it's worth every penny. Think of it this way. A pre-inspection is like a personal trainer for your house. It gets it in tip-top shape before the big reveal, aka the actual home inspection. It's like those embarrassing before and after transformation photos, except for your house. And who doesn't love a good transformation photo? So let's say your house has a few problem areas. We all have them. A pre-inspection will help identify and fix those issues before potential buyers come snooping around. This not only makes your house more attractive to buyers, it means you can potentially ask for a higher price. It's a win-win situation. So don't be afraid to invest in a pre-inspection. It might just be a little boost your house needs to sell for top dollar. Happy selling. So in my opinion, this is a little off. Like, the idea behind a pre-inspection is to facilitate the sale quicker, so you don't have to rely on the buyer actually going out and doing that. Obviously, they have the right to get another inspection if they want to, but it should facilitate the sale. And it is right in the sense that it'll uncover any problems so that you can fix them before it goes to market. This is just a cool way to actually write your social media content, and it will write it for each individual platform. Like you can have this write YouTube scripts, you can have this write a lot of different things, which brings me to my next point, which is writing blogs. So let's try this again. Write a 300-word blog on how interest rates will affect the real estate market in 2023. Now again, I always recommend taking this as a framework and then customizing it and spending a decent amount of time actually customizing it to making your own. So let's see what this comes up with. Interest rates play a crucial role in the real estate market as they can significantly impact the cost of borrowing money for a mortgage. As such, it is important to keep an eye on interest rates, especially if you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the near future. So what can we expect from interest rates in 2023? It's difficult to say for certain, but as interest rates are influenced by a number of factors, including inflation, economic growth, and the overall stability of the financial market. However, we can look at some of the factors that may impact interest rates in the coming year. One factor to consider is the current state of the economy. If the economy is strong and growing, it's likely that interest rates will rise, as lenders feel more comfortable lending money at higher rates. On the other hand, if the economy is struggling, interest rates may remain low or even decrease in an effort to encourage borrowing and stimulate economic growth. Another factor to consider is inflation. I'm not going to keep reading this all out, but you get the idea. It's writing a pretty damn good post on how interest rates are going to affect the market. Now, you could actually use a blog as a YouTube script in a way. So if you wanted to make a YouTube video, you could actually use this as a framework for the video you're going to create. So leveraging this tool will actually give you a lot of frameworks to use in the content you're putting out there. And it might even stimulate some ideas for you to add things, subtract things, and really make it your own. That's number 3. Number 4 is getting help handling certain situations in real estate. So here's a fun one that I know a lot of new agents deal with. How do I handle a real estate client when they ask how many homes I've sold and I haven't sold that many. This is a common problem with new real estate agents. It's like, how do I go up against the big dogs when I haven't actually done a whole lot of business? So let's see what it comes up with. It can be intimidating to receive a question about your sales history, especially if you haven't sold any homes. However, it's important to remember that the numbers of homes you've sold is just one factor for potential clients that may consider when deciding to work with you. Here are a few strategies you can use to address the question and highlight other qualifications and experiences, emphasizing your skills and knowledge, share your successes, focus on your future goals. Let's see what else it comes up with. So you can use this for objection handling, etc. But remember, this is AI. So this is going to get smarter over time with more inputs and more people working with it. Here's a good one. Partner with a more experienced agent. If you're feeling overwhelmed, unsure how to address your limited sales history, you may consider partner with a more experienced agent or team. This can help provide additional support and guidance as you build your own real estate career. That's a great piece of advice. Overall, it's important to remember that your sales history is just one aspect of your real estate career. By focusing on your skills, success, future goals, you can demonstrate your value as an agent and build trust with potential clients. So really interesting, the types of advice that this can crowdsource and pull from the world and then to share with you. Now, the last one, I love this because I actually had this tool review our contract, and you can do the same. You can get this tool to write you code for your website. Like if you say, write me CSS code to make buttons green, it'll do that. You can literally write code with this tool if you don't know code. Here's a fun one for real estate though, is write me a subject to inspection clause for a real estate contract. So if you're putting it in a clause that isn't in your default contract in your market, you can have it write this clause for you. So let's see what it comes up with. Subject to inspection clause. The contract is subject to the buyer's satisfaction with the result of any inspections by the property the buyer may choose to conduct within insert number of days of the date of this contract. If the buyer is not satisfied with the results of the inspection, the buyer may terminate this contract by providing written notice to the seller within insert number of days of receiving the inspection report. In the event of termination, the buyer shall be entitled to a full refund of any deposit made. This clause shall not extend the closing date of this contract. Pretty cool. You can actually write contract clauses with this tool too. Anyways, those are 5 ways you can use this tool. Obviously, there's a lot more ways you can use it. Those are just 5. I encourage you all to spend some time with this when you come into problems and you need support. This tool is going to replace a lot of industries and people and jobs. And so yes, in a way, there's downsides to that, but like with any innovation, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. This always happens. It's a trend. And so we have to embrace this tool because it's here and it's not going away.
So Eric goes into so many neat things that we're up against. Let's go to number 1. We can take a description and we can put it into Chat GPT, and they will create it differently. And you can say, you can tell them what to do. Create a script for this description with a humorous tone, and it will take it, and now it becomes your own. You're not violating any copyright laws because you're not really using the verbatim of the previous agent or wherever you got it. You have wordsmithed it, if you will. I like that word. You've changed it. You've let the artificial intelligence change it, and now it's your own. Tom Ferry always uses that RIP. Just he says rip off and duplicate. Well, this is this takes out of the ball game. We are now going to generate or wordsmith things as opposed to ripping off and duplicating. So I think Tom will have to come up with some new words for that acronym. Anyway, I love that. Now, he said on Facebook posts, so you can take something and that you've read, or maybe from my show, maybe from like we do daily blogs. Take one of our daily blogs and you want to create a video or a Facebook post or something, and you don't want it, you want it to have your flavor to it, or again, a humorous tone or a more serious tone, or write this for Las Vegas. This is artificial intelligence, so it goes out there and it has this. If you can just imagine the data, the trillions and bytes of data, and it just goes through it in a nanosecond to find all the things that it wants to be sure that it does what you want it to do. Now, once you find something, which I've done this, I like to do bullet points, especially for my PowerPoints. So we went to the Las Vegas perspective that the chamber held on January 23rd. And Jeremy Aguirre, I took what he said on my phone, uploaded it to rev.com, got the transcript, and then put some of it into Chat GPT and said, create bullet points from this verbiage. Now, the only thing that I will caution you, I think it has a limit of 200 or 300 words that it will do that. So I had to do it a couple times because he speaks very fast and he says a lot of stuff. So I took Jeremy's, what he said. I think I took the last 10 years and I said, create bullet points about the last 10 years of what's happened in Las Vegas. And it was almost perfect. It really did an excellent job. So, and you can do posts for Instagram, TikTok, any platform. And, all these platforms have a different tone, correct? So TikTok, you might want humorous. Facebook, you might want a little bit more speaking to the masses. Instagram, you just might want to, to your peeps, to the people that follow you. So you can tell it what tone, like a TikTok tone, it gets that. It's amazing. Okay, and then number 3 was the blogs or YouTube scripts. So you can take what anybody says, what anybody does, what anybody writes, and you can repurpose it and create your own video script, because maybe you like something that somebody gave a video about the inspection or whatever. Well, again, you need to get used to translating it. I use rev.com, which you just upload the video, it creates the transcript. Then you take the transcript and you take it to Chat GPT. Now that sounds like a lot of steps, but it's less time than for you to sit there and create it yourself. And then you can tweak it. You can say, oh, I want this tone or that tone, or make bullet points, or do it this way, or do it that way, do it in this, do it for this platform. So you can do all those things. So it can do scripts for your videos, which is fantastic, because a lot of times, and then when we read the script, then we can alter it, or you can tell it to alter it. Anyway, number 4, so you're a new agent and you're getting things, you're going, how do you handle objections? And you can get GPT to write the answers to the objections. I'm trying to think of one. Why would I want to move to Las Vegas with hot summers? And see what it says. Let the AI go out there and answer that question for you, because you know that buyer you're taking out is from wherever they're from, California maybe, right, where they have beautiful weather, not hot like we get, and get the answer. Get at least something to say. If you can't come up with it yourself. Now, number 5, contracts. Now, that was pretty interesting. If you take the difficult part of our contracts, I think we looked at one of the property inspection, I think on page 2 or 3, that the average human being understands 13 words in a sentence. I think there's 80 words in the first sentence on that particular topic. So you can take that and you can say, create a script of 13 words per sentence. And it will take that script and it'll break it down and it'll put it in 13 words per sentence. Now, right, it's, again, like Eric said, it's not always going to be perfect, but you can tweak it, of course. And once you tweak it, then you can put it back in again. So there's no limit to how many times you can repurpose something. And because just trying to explain that sentence, I think we figured 80 words in that sentence, the first sentence about property inspections. And it's like goes on and on and on. And if you can say, take that sentence and say, create bullet points out of this sentence, and then it'll do that. And so then you can, when you're explaining to this first-time home buyer or this buyer from California, whatever, okay, here's what this means. Okay, and you have it all bullet pointed. How impressive is that? I love that. So anyway, I haven't done a class on how to use Chat GPT, but of course, I will. I just don't know exactly when. I'm using it now so that I can garner the knowledge myself on how I might use it. Since I'm in real estate, I can relate to you just like Eric related to us. He did the very basics, and of course, soon, it's going to cost money because they're losing $3 million a day. But it's growing so fast. It's going to be a little bit like what Elon Musk did with Twitter, charging an upfront fee. What is it, $8 or something? So chat might follow in those footsteps. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend. We had a great class yesterday, and let's see what we're going on next week here. We've got some exciting things going on. On Tuesday, we have ethics. What do you think? Now, ethics to me is one of the hardest classes to teach because we're all born with our own ethics and we all look at things from different perspectives. It's not cut and dried like agency or contracts or law. It's our ethics that Jimmy's teaching. And I'm telling you, it's a hard class to teach, but Jimmy does, of course, a phenomenal job. And he makes you think, what do you think? So he gives us situations and he says, what do you think? And, we have 30, 40 people in the class on Zoom and in live, and we interact with everybody and we say, okay, so this is the situation. What do you think? And it's amazing how we all think differently. And what I love about this particular class is it makes you think, and it makes you maybe say, oh, I didn't look at it. Maybe the person I'm talking to thinks I'm unethical because I said it the wrong way, or that didn't say what I meant, and so on and so forth. It's a great class. Anyway, it's 2 to 5 on Tuesday. So that's a happy hour afternoon. So we have snacks, cheese, crackers, some dips and chips, and diet beverages, colas, and sometimes wine and beer. So we try to make it fun. Anyway, then on Thursday, which is the 9th of February, from 11 to 3, we are having concealed carry weapon training. Now, as a realtor, I know, and especially property management in my lifetime, I've been doing it 34 years. John and I've had to go to some pretty murky places. And yeah. And of course, today, I'm sorry, but I call it the age of the rage. People are angry if you pull in front of them, if you slow down, if you drive too fast, you drive too slow, you forget your turn signal, whatever. Yeah, people are kind of angry for some reason. Could be our economy, inflation, who knows? Everybody has a bad day, though. But anyway, I think that it's prudent for a real estate agent to have a concealed weapons permit for those odd times that you need to carry some protection. I know a lot of people that I'm probably talking to, if you're one of those people that don't believe in carrying a weapon, I have one of my best friends is scared half to death of guns, and she doesn't want to learn about them. She doesn't want one in her house. That's all fine. That's good. Me, I don't know. I've been in some strange situations in my real estate career, and I again, like with property management, back in the day, I wish I had had a concealed weapons permit, which I didn't. Then I got one. Then I didn't need it, and then I let it expire. So I'm going to get mine again too. I think it's just a prudent thing. It doesn't hurt. Takes 4 hours on Thursday. Then you go out to the range 4 hours on Saturday. And I will tell you that the instructor was one of the men who carried the casket for the American Sniper, and he was actually a Navy SEAL with him. So he is. I mean, we couldn't have found a better, more qualified person to teach you. So if you go to bee.vegas, you can sign up for the course, Concealed Carry Weapon Training, on the 9th from 11 to 3. I'm sure we'll have somebody bring us lunch. And then on Friday, we're back to Jimmy Dague with the Attorney General is on the line. So that's a law class. Very interesting. And again, Jimmy presents different situations to see how you might handle them and whether you are really following the law. And it's not a boring class. He doesn't go down and just read you the law. He gives you situations of how the law is applied. And they're real life situations that happened here in Vegas. So it's very relevant to our market and to what you're doing, perhaps. And again, that's 10 to 1 on Friday. Go to bee.vegas. I have that sign up place here, and you'll see this calendar, and then you just click on whichever class or classes. And when you click, you're going to see that we do have a 6-class bundle on a landing page that these go to. So if you want one class free, 6 classes for the price of 5, you can do that as well. If you have to reschedule, no problem. We have a very easy rescheduling system. So you just, if you can't make it on this day, you can go on another day and just reschedule. So anyway, you can see that we have classes every week at 8400 West Sahara. We try to cover all the bases now, contracts, ethics, agency, law, risk management, and we have a general one, the 1031 tax exchange on the 24th. So in February, because it's a short month, we do not have an agency class in February, but we will have, of course, one in March, and we had one in January. So anyway, I love you all. I got to go, and have a fabulous weekend. We're going to have a fabulous week next week. And thanks for listening to me. I went 35 minutes today.